Hi everyone, welcome to the episode of today where we are building the medieval town of Bella. And this town is really going to feel distinct from the whole city going on, Solatio and all the districts of Clemenza, Lancioli. It's really isolated from the main spread of city and urban life. And so, because it's pretty far away. And it's going to be a walled town, so it's going to look really cool, and it's going to look distinctively medieval. And yeah, all the buildings are going to be much smaller and very old, like sort of the year where the whole infrastructure in the area was built, so like the houses and the churches and everything. I feel like it could be like 1200 or something like that, because it definitely has a very, very old look to it, and has a very maybe like Central European vibe to the town, maybe like Switzerland or something like that. But anyway, so let's get into the video. Over here, this is gonna be the town hall, and I placed those trees around it. And now what I'm doing is I am placing some walls around the cemetery, just add some details. And these walls are really, really cool, and they're made by Ernesto, and they're really, really, like, it's a quality prop, and it works really well for a church and a bunch of, older buildings which were able to pay for such a wall. And yeah, so the cemetery is, all the people that had money went into that cemetery, and because it got filled up pretty quickly. And the interesting thing about Bella is that it's a walled town, and by it being a walled town, it really changes the dynamics of the town, because once a wall goes up, normally that means the town is important and everything, and the population is eventually gonna go up. But since there's a wall, you can't really move the wall, so it's really, really gonna squeeze in everyone inside of the compound. And that is something really interesting, which I kept in mind while building this city. But now, like, the city is still in its early stages, and all the buildings aren't that packed in, because now the wall is going in and everything. Let's say now we're like in 1100 or something, and they're building the wall, and everyone's good and everyone's happy. And that's the thing. So they're building the wall, and it's really I'm placing a lot of towers, so it's a very defensive wall. Obviously, it's a wall, but this city over here, it's very well located too. It's up on a hill, sort of close to the water, so if they had to go and get water or fish or something, or transportation was generally by boat back then, so it was pretty convenient. And there's also some hills behind it, so it's protected from there, but also it could be bad if invaders come from the hill. They have the upper hand, so that's why, especially towards the hill, I'm placing all of these towers. But these towers are not all like intact and everything, obviously, because this wall being 1,000 years old. It's some parts fell and everything. But realistically speaking, like, if there would be a town in 2017 with such a wall, they still have it and it's standing, and it looks this good and it's pretty intact. Like, you can walk on it, you can bike on it. It would be like considered UNESCO heritage site and all those beautiful things. So Bella is a true gem. And yeah, so basically now the wall went around, and now I'm doing the marketplace, and I'm placing this building in the centerpiece, where maybe like the central building of the marketplace. So if it rained or something, they just moved all the food inside, or on colder days, and or no, maybe they sold the meat inside, because not so the sun doesn't like make it like rot faster. And I don't know, maybe there's like birds that can come if it's outside, and they can like steal some meat, like vultures coming from the hills, because this is a pretty rugged area. And think about like 1,000 years ago, there was obviously nothing around, so just this fortress in the area was a very like untamed place. And as you saw in the beginning of the video, like, there was like bears, and there still are. Like, they're gonna stay in the town throughout the video. There's a bear and a moose, and they're in the central plaza right behind the town hall, and they just stay there. you're gonna see them in the future as the video goes on. What I did now is I placed that ruin of a castle, but now this water tower, which looks like a castle tower, you know, and it's sort of like they really loved that tower, and to this day they've renovated the tower and they've maintained the way it looked, and you know, they're pretty proud of it. And UNESCO, they got money and everything from UNESCO, and they really wanted to maintain that tower, but the rest of the castle is just they didn't really renovate it. So that's a pretty interesting thing that this town has. And now I'm placing some taller buildings like these ones, which there aren't going to be any like taller tenements than these in the town, but basically at this point it's like the walls are in, everything's there, so it's like it's starting to densify and people are just starting to build houses atop one another. And yeah, you see, so now the moose is there, and the bear he's somewhere around, and it's sort of like, I guess they can't really leave anymore because I placed the wall too, but they really like it there for some reason. They just like eat the grass, and even when I put cement everywhere and I place these cobblestone roads, they're still eating through the cobblestone road. So I don't know what they're able to find, but Bella is a true divine place, and placing these cobblestone roads is a really, really good thing. I mean, as soon as I started placing them, the whole town changed and the way it looked. And what's happening here is that it's sort of overflowed outside of the main wall, and that part over there is mostly shops and like modern shops and the gas stations and things like that, but the old town is inside of the wall. So now I'm placing the market. I'm just continuing the marketplace, and I'm placing this beautiful stone here, just and I wanted to have something different, you know, so it contrasts with the cobblestone. And what am I doing now? Yeah, that building doesn't really belong there, so it's being removed, but I want to have a nice corner piece, and I'm gonna find it, and this is the one I was looking for, and it really looks really cool. And yeah, so slowly there's still gonna be mostly smaller homes in the compound, but is basically slowly the buildings are starting to rise up and to have more stories, and you know, become a better, you know, I guess a better looking city. And yeah, so now I was trying to place another one of these corner buildings, but it was still coming out in the green color, which I already had one. So now I was really down for the white one, and I finally got it. And yeah, and another one of these taller buildings. And I got something to say, everyone. Aguante el choripan. Subscribe wanted me to say this. So now we're placing the fruit stands in the marketplace, and we're gonna finish it in this sequence of the video. And yeah, so they have lots of fruits, and this town, I wanted it to feel like people that live in this town, like people don't really move out of this town or move into this town. It's just like the same family lines that have been living here for generations, and they all have like the same traditions, and they all come and they get their fruit here and their fresh meat. And it's also going to be a very good location to meet people, because over here what I'm doing now is I'm placing a newsstand, or they can also sell magazines and things, you know. Like, this is a central place where people come to get all their daily needs and all the things to satisfy their needs. And basically next, like over there, I placed a little grill place to have a little central piece where people can really come. And then I'm gonna place a bunch of tables, and people are just gonna be able to come and eat and socialize here. It's really gonna turn out a cool little place. And yeah, so these animals have not moved. The bear is there on the right, and the moose on the left. And I don't know, I mean, at this point they've become the pets of the population, to not say the pest. Maybe the bear has become a pest, but the moose is a pretty good guy. He, you know, kids ride on his back every Saturday. On Sundays he rests, and the rest of the day you can still find him there. He's just lying in the tall grass. What I'm doing now is I am placing an exterior wall, because like I said, as the city develops, it's sort of how can I say this, just like overflowed out, sort of like just like flowed out of the wall. And now I'm placing this much more ancient wall, which wasn't as well maintained, and it was just there for like, and it wasn't built as well with like that good materials, so now it got destroyed, and they're not really maintaining it anymore because at this point it's not that necessary. But it was just to provide a little bit of protection from the invaders. And now we're on to the farms, and the farms are mostly going to be located behind, well, behind this the Bella, towards the mountains. So like that, they're really like, the farms are going to be shielded from the elements, the wind, and especially the wind. And so it's going up the valley, and there's going to be different types of crops. Now I changed the horse statue to this saint, I believe, just to give this town a bit more of a real connection to religion, because towns like these out, often, like if they sprouted out of the blue like 1,000 years ago, often, it started with like a monastery or something like that. And this town does have a lot of religious elements. There's this very sacred cemetery, and they have churches as well. But back to the farms, guys, because over here on the lower levels, there's going to be these types of farms. But on the upper levels, there's going to be wheat farms, which you're going to see in a few minutes. But now I'm basically placing these decals. If I would have changed something, though, is I wouldn't have placed them all in the same direction. Because like the farm is separated with a road, and let's say on the left of the road, I would have placed them in another direction. On the right of the road, I would have placed them in another direction, because it's sort of a little bit repetitive. But I didn't want to, it didn't bother me that much as to change it. But if I would change something, I would change that. And now I'm placing a few homes. These are very, like, very, how can I say, wealthy homes. And they just have, like, expanded from the initial settlement and outside of the walls. But it's fine, because now we're in, like, great times of peace. And, obviously, like, everything is just thriving. Like, Salatio's thriving. Like, the Skyline has popped out of nowhere in like the past years, sort of like Dubai. But this city everything is just chill, everything's going on well, and this town right now is more like a tourist destination, and it's not forgotten or anything, but like sort of maybe a bunch of people don't even know of Bella because it's such a small town and it's pretty far from the main city. And sort of like in Europe, they have so many old towns like this that you can like go like spend your vacation in these old towns and never actually see all of them, because there's that many. So now we're at the wheat farm part, and it's sort of going to be in higher, like in the foothills, but obviously not going too high up, but just a bit more in the foothills, because I feel like wheat would grow well in a more like rugged terrain, or even in a flat terrain. But I just think that wheat isn't that picky of a cereal. Anyway, I know my cereal, but what I'm doing now, I'm just generally placing a lot of greenery and filling up the area, because and as you can see, there's like these little towers that I've placed like on the walls, on the white walls, and those obviously were just like meant for extra defense, and now they're pretty much derelict also. So what I'm placing now here is a little orchard, apple trees or something like that. So this town is basically self-sufficient. There's everything, and I've actually placed like school-wise. There's an elementary school, there's a high school, and there's university. So this school has everything. This town. And there's like 700 people living in it, but it has everything. It has obviously hospital. It has a fire station, police station, all the good things. Anyway, so now I'm placing this lavender tree. Well, I've been placing it for like 30 seconds, just to add some, very, very nice elements, because like blossoming trees are like incredible in my opinion, and they really, really make a town just spring up to life. And basically that only happens during spring though. But during spring, like that's when a town looks, when a location can look its best. Like, a place that's full of flowers and blossoming trees, it can really look incredible. So that's what I did here, and now I'm densifying the forest, just extra details, adding these thick green oak trees, dark oak trees, and now I'm placing these pine trees, which aren't too low, but I love them because they just densify the forest very well. And it's just up here, we're at the foothills in this very rugged area. It's a very wild area where there's wildlife, and the forests are thick, and it's not that far from downtown, but there is water between downtown, and there's no bridge, and I don't plan on making one, so getting here can be quite a long drive. I'm just placing rocks because these rocks might have fallen from the upper elevations, and a fence to finish off the episode. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought about the episode, and let me know what you want to see in upcoming episodes, So leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.